Are you just totally exhausted by the endless cycle of expensive topical creams and serums? You know the ones. They promise to erase wrinkles overnight, but you wake up looking exactly the same as you did yesterday. It is incredibly frustrating, honestly, to invest your hard-earned money and time into surface-level solutions that simply don't deliver. Well, you've probably seen the growing buzz around a product called Axavive. It claims to bypass the skin's surface entirely and reactivate youthful skin from the inside out, relying on a concept they call Axon Renewal. But we have to ask, is this actually a scientific breakthrough, or is it just another highly polished marketing campaign designed to separate you from your money? In this video, we're going to strip away the hype. Based on our research, we're conducting a brutally honest, evidence-based analysis of the Axavive skin supplement. By the end of our time together, you'll know exactly what this formula contains, what the published science actually supports, the significant transparency gaps the brand doesn't exactly advertise, and whether this investment is truly right for your body. I do want to mention right up front, if at any point during this video you decide this product aligns with your health goals, the only safe place to purchase it is the official website. I've actually linked it directly in the description below. I'll explain exactly why that matters and the very real dangers of third-party counterfeits a bit later on, but I wanted to make sure you have the verified link right from the start. So let's talk about why you're likely searching for a solution in the first place. For decades now, the skincare industry has basically trained us to believe that aging skin is a surface problem, right? You're told to slather on more collagen, more hyaluronic acid, heavier moisturizers. But you've probably noticed that as the years go by, those creams just stop working the way they used to. Based on our research, the reason for this plateau is that aging skin is not just about a lack of moisture on the outermost layer. It's actually a profound structural breakdown happening deep within the dermal layers. Think about it. Every single day, your skin is bombarded by environmental factors. We're talking UV radiation, pollution, internal oxidative stress. Over time, these aggressors actively destroy the communication pathways beneath your skin. Your skin cells, specifically the fibroblasts, which are responsible for generating new structural proteins, literally stop receiving the signals that tell them to produce collagen, retain water, and repair daily damage. When those internal biological signals go quiet, piling more ingredients on the surface is exactly like painting over a crumbling foundation. And the consequence of ignoring this internal breakdown is stark. The fine lines you used to only see when you smiled, they deepen into permanent wrinkles. The skin along your jawline begins to lose its firm elasticity, and your overall complexion takes on this dull, tired appearance that no amount of foundation or concealer can fully hide. Previous solutions fail because topicals have molecular weights that are often just too large to penetrate deeply enough to address that cellular signaling. So if you've tried surface-level creams that fail to deliver, you might be intrigued by Axavive's core promise to fix a structural problem from the inside out. But we really need to see what the evidence actually suggests. To make sure we cover everything, here is our roadmap. Number 1, the Axavive promise. Number 2, decoding the ingredients. Number 3, the transparency gap. Number 4, pros, cons, and safety. And number 5, the final verdict. Let's get into it. Section 1, the Axavive promise. Beyond surface-level skincare. Let's start with what Axavive actually is in the real world. It's a daily oral dietary supplement presented in capsule form. It's manufactured in the USA, and it's marketed primarily to adults dealing with the visible signs of aging. In my assessment, this is completely separate from the temporary plumping effects of traditional cosmetics. It focuses instead on deep, systemic botanical support. Now, the entire marketing engine behind Axavive rests on a concept they call Axon Renewal, or the golden seed switch. But what does that actually mean biologically? An axon is simply the long, thread-like part of a nerve cell that conducts electrical impulses to communicate with other cells. The theory presented by the brand here is that these nerve signal communication pathways in your skin gradually deteriorate as we age. The golden seed switch is really just their marketing metaphor to describe the reactivation of these pathways. It heavily relies on neuroscience terminology applied to cosmetic dermatology, and based on our research, there's genuinely emerging and legitimate science regarding this. Experimental dermatological studies published in recent years have begun to heavily explore how peripheral nerve endings in the skin, particularly C fibers, play a highly critical role in coordinating tissue repair, modulating local inflammation, and even regulating cellular turnover and collagen synthesis. The science suggests that the nervous system and the skin are in constant bidirectional communication. When those neural networks degrade due to aging or stress, the skin simply loses its ability to repair itself efficiently. However, while the underlying biological concept of nerve-skin communication is real and currently being studied in laboratories right now, you have to understand that Axon Renewal as a branded framework is just a proprietary marketing interpretation. It's essentially the language they use to explain how their specific botanical blend is intended to function. According to the manufacturer, this Axon Renewal process operates on a 3-stage biological mechanism. The first phase is what they call ignite. The goal here is to reactivate dormant cellular pathways and restore clear communication within the skin tissue, essentially waking up the signaling system so your fibroblasts know it's time to get to work. The second phase is supercharge. Once those communication lines are open, the formula aims to flood your system with botanical nutrients to accelerate collagen production, improve elasticity, and amplify visible skin renewal. But the final phase, shield, is arguably the most biologically important of the three. This relies on antioxidant-rich botanicals to defend these newly restored nerve pathways from ongoing oxidative damage. And why does this matter so much? Because oxidative stress creates molecules called free radicals, or reactive oxygen species. Think of these free radicals like microscopic molecular scissors. They actively snip and degrade the collagen and elastin fibers in your skin. By shielding the pathways and neutralizing these free radicals, the improvements in your skin's firmness and hydration become sustainable over the long term rather than just fading away by the end of the day. It's a logical, systemic approach to skin health that makes solid biological sense on paper. Section 2. Decoding the ingredients. The 6 botanical compounds. Moving past the marketing jargon, let's unpack the actual science behind Axavive's botanicals to see if they can truly execute this 3-stage process. Let's analyze the first 3 ingredients, starting with the real heavy hitter here, Astragaloside IV. This is what the brand refers to as their golden seed anchor. It's a highly specific, purified saponin derived from the root of the Astragalus membranaceus plant. In my assessment, this is one of the more rigorously studied botanical compounds in experimental longevity and dermatological science. Based on the research, Astragaloside IV is frequently studied for its potential to support telomere length and cellular resilience. At a molecular level, it helps delay cellular senescence, which is basically the process where skin cells age and stop dividing. Clinical studies exploring this compound often look at doses ranging from 10 to 50 milligrams to gauge its effect on inflammatory balance and collagen-related structural repair. It's a premium compound, no doubt, and clearly the biological engine of this formula. Next up, we have Bacopa Monnieri, an herb with thousands of years of history in Ayurvedic traditions. While you might know it for cognitive function and brain health, in this specific dermal context, its research role is profound antioxidant defense. Bacopa has been shown to boost the activity of superoxide dismutase, which is one of your body's absolute most powerful natural antioxidant enzymes. It's designed to aggressively protect your skin cells against the oxidative stress that drives visible aging. Then there's Centella Asiatica, widely known as tiger grass or Botanicals. In the realm of botanical dermatology, this is one of the most credible and deeply documented ingredients available today. It's rich in active compounds called triterpenoids, specifically medacoside, which have been directly linked in clinical literature to the robust synthesis of type 1 collagen. Research heavily supports its role in helping firm sagging areas, improve wound healing, and smooth out fine lines by restoring structural balance to the dermal matrix. Honestly, these 3 ingredients form an incredibly solid foundation of preclinical, evidence-based science. The remaining 3 botanicals form a deeply layered network to complete the formula, and they are equally well-researched. Pine bark extract is included for its robust antioxidant and circulatory support. This extract is highly concentrated with oligomeric proanthocyanidins, or OPCs. The research indicates that OPCs are highly effective at enhancing endothelial function, meaning they actually improve the health of your microscopic blood vessels. By improving microcirculation, pine bark extract helps deliver more oxygen and nutrients directly to your skin tissues, which actively helps target hyperpigmentation, fade dark spots, and boosts overall skin hydration from the inside out. Then we have Panax Ginseng, an absolute staple and traditional medicine. The active components in ginseng are called ginsenosides. In dermatological research, specifically looking at ginsenosides like RG1 and RB1, the evidence suggests they promote fibroblast proliferation. Again, fibroblasts are the cellular factories that build your skin structure. By stimulating them, ginseng improves skin density, vitality, and cellular circulation. This translates visibly to improved elasticity and a more energized complexion. Finally, there's Cistanche Deserticola. This is a fascinating inclusion. It's a rare desert plant that survives in brutal, arid environments by utilizing extreme moisture retention biology. It contains active glycosides like echinocide. Its research role is heavily focused on cellular moisture retention. It provides compounds that help preserve the hyaluronic acid naturally present in your skin, effectively locking in moisture at the cellular level and defending against the dry, paper-like texture associated with aging. What is genuinely impressive about this 6-ingredient profile is the absolute lack of redundancy. They don't overlap pointlessly. Each one plays a specific targeted role in either signaling, rebuilding, protecting, or hydrating the skin's structural integrity. Section 3. The transparency gap. The reality of the formula. Now we reach the critical pivot of our assessment.
There is a stark, unavoidable difference between ingredient-level science and finished product proof, and you really need to understand this distinction.
The single biggest weakness of Axavive, and something you absolutely must know as a smart consumer, is that it utilizes a proprietary blend. This means that while they transparently list all 6 of these heavily researched botanicals on the physical label, they hide the exact milligram dosage of each individual ingredient, grouping them all together under one total proprietary weight. Why is this a critical issue? Well, because every single published scientific study that validates the effectiveness of Centella Asiatica or Astragaloside IV uses very specific measured doses. A clinical study might demonstrate that it takes 500 milligrams of an ingredient to effectively trigger collagen synthesis. But because Axavive uses a proprietary blend, they legally only have to put in 5 milligrams to claim it's on the label. Without knowing the exact mathematical amount of each ingredient inside the capsule, it is literally impossible for us to definitively verify if the product contains clinically effective amounts or if it just contains lower trace amounts. Furthermore, there are no published human clinical trials on the finished Axavive formula as a complete unit. The brand heavily cites ingredient-level evidence as if it were product-level proof. While that is an entirely standard and legal practice in the modern supplement industry, it remains a significant transparency gap that you deserve to be fully aware of before making a purchase. It is also crucial to understand the regulatory language used in their marketing. Axavive prominently advertises that it is manufactured in an FDA-registered and GMP-certified facility. This is a very good thing. It means the manufacturing location meets strict federal safety, cleanliness, and quality control standards. However, you must not confuse an FDA-registered facility with an FDA-approved product. No dietary supplement in the United States, including Axavive, undergoes pre-market review or approval by the FDA for efficacy or outcomes. The FDA does not test this supplement to see if it actually repairs wrinkles. The facility is registered, but the product itself is not an approved medical treatment. Understanding this prevents you from falling for the illusion that this is a pharmaceutical drug. It's not. It is a botanical wellness supplement. Section 4, Pros, Cons, and Safety. Setting realistic expectations. In our assessment, balancing the strengths and the limitations is the only way to make a truly informed decision. On the positive side, there's actually a lot to respect about what Axavive has formulated here. First, the formula is exceptionally clean. It's a non-GMO, fully plant-based supplement free from harsh stimulants, synthetic hormones, and artificial toxins. Second, it is anchored by Astragaloside IV, which is a genuinely heavily researched and premium botanical compound in the anti-aging space. Third, the manufacturing standards are transparent and highly credible. Being made in the USA in an FDA-registered, GMP-certified facility is a major pro. Overseas manufacturing can sometimes result in heavy metal contamination or inferior raw materials. A USA-based, GMP-certified facility requires strict, documented testing for these contaminants, providing a much higher baseline of safety. Fourth, the systemic multi-pathway approach to skin health is vastly superior to just slapping another temporary moisturizer on your face. It actively attempts to address the biological root of the structural issue. And finally, the purchase is backed by a robust 90-day money-back guarantee, which removes a significant amount of the financial risk if you decide you want to test it out. However, we cannot and will not ignore the negatives. The most glaring con, as we discussed in depth, is that proprietary blend. Hiding individual dosages prevents independent verification of potency, and that is inherently frustrating for anyone who wants to follow the exact science. Secondly, there are no clinical trials on the finished product itself, meaning the specific Axon Renewal claims are based on the theoretical application of ingredient science, not a direct human study of the specific capsule. Third, you must accept that results will vary heavily based on your individual biology, your age, your diet, and your lifestyle. Oral supplements simply cannot guarantee visible cosmetic results for every single person. And finally, this requires immense patience. It is absolutely not an overnight fix, and if you're looking for a miracle cure before a weekend event, this product will inevitably disappoint you. If you do decide to try it, what can you realistically expect? Well, based on the analysis of the biological mechanisms involved, the timeline requires a serious commitment. During days 7 to 14, the earliest changes users tend to notice are subtle internal improvements in overall hydration and skin softness. That tight, dry feeling, especially when you wake up in the morning, begins to ease as the antioxidant and moisture-retaining ingredients like Cistanche Deserticola take effect. However, the heavy lifting, the visible tightening, the lifting of sagging areas, the softening of deep permanent lines, and the structural changes related to collagen support, those do not typically become apparent until you reach months 3 to 6 of consistent daily use. You have to remember that your natural epidermal turnover cycle takes about 28 to 40 days just for new cells to reach the surface. Rebuilding the cellular communication pathways and generating dense new dermal collagen is a slow, methodical biological process. You really must be willing to stick with it to see the structural benefits.
Now we must discuss safety. While Axavive is formulated from natural, plant-based botanical ingredients and is generally considered safe and well-tolerated by healthy adults, natural does not mean without risk. There is a strict safety warning you must heed. This product is absolutely not for pregnant or nursing individuals, nor is it for anyone under the age of 18. Most importantly, because it contains active botanicals like Panax Ginseng and Astragalus, it can potentially interact with certain prescription medications, particularly blood pressure drugs, blood thinners, or blood sugar medications. If you are under a doctor's care or taking daily prescriptions, consulting your physician before starting this or any new supplement is an absolute, non-negotiable must to ensure it's safe for your specific health profile.
Section 5. The final verdict. Is it right for you? Based on our thorough breakdown, let's establish exactly who should consider this investment and how to buy it safely. So, who is Axavive actually for? In my assessment, this product is ideally suited for adults aged 25 to 80 who are completely fatigued by the false promises of surface-level creams and are actively seeking a systemic, botanical approach to internal skin wellness. It's for discerning buyers who understand the distinction between ingredient-level research and finished product proof and who are totally comfortable with that reality. Most importantly, it's for individuals who possess the patience and discipline to commit to a multi-month daily routine. If you understand that real structural skin health takes time and you want a clean, well-manufactured supplement to support that journey, Axavive is a highly compelling option. On the flip side, if you want an instant cosmetic fix, if you refuse to wait 3 to 6 months for visible structural results, or if you're managing a complex medical condition without a doctor's approval, you should absolutely skip this product. Let's talk about the investment. Axavive offers 3 pricing tiers. You can get 2 bottles for $158, which is a 60-day supply. 3 bottles cost $207, providing a 90-day supply along with some digital bonuses. Or you can choose the 6-bottle package for $294, which gives you a full 180-day supply, the bonuses, and free shipping. Logically speaking, if you have decided this formula makes biological sense for you, the 6-bottle package is the only one I recommend. Here is why. As we just discussed, the structural results from botanical supplements take 3 to 6 months to fully manifest. If you buy a smaller package, you run the very real risk of running out of the supplement right before the deeper biological changes in your collagen matrix even begin to show. Stopping early prevents results. The larger package ensures you have enough supply to give the product a fair, full trial without interruption, while also offering the absolute lowest cost per bottle. Now, please listen carefully to this warning, because it is urgent and relates directly to your physical safety. The dietary supplement industry currently has a massive, dangerous problem with counterfeit products. If you go searching for Axavive on Amazon, eBay, or random third-party discount supplement sites, you are actively putting your health at risk. Counterfeiters routinely mimic the exact look of the bottles and fill the capsules with cheap fillers, incorrect dosages, or even contaminated, harmful chemical ingredients. There have been real, documented harms caused by fake, unverified supplements in this exact anti-aging category. The official website is the only guaranteed authentic source. It's the only place where you are guaranteed to get the true GMP-certified botanical formula and the only place where the 90-day money-back guarantee will actually be honored by the manufacturer. The link I've placed in the description below takes you directly to that official, verified website. Not a reseller, not a third-party listing. That is the only link I share because it is the only source I trust to keep you safe and ensure you get the real product. Ultimately, the choice comes down to your expectations and your willingness to invest in your own biology. Are you willing to trade the frustrating illusion of overnight fixes for a realistic, science-backed commitment to long-term botanical skin health? Understanding the scientific evidence, accepting the limitations of proprietary blends, and knowing the true biological mechanisms of cellular repair is the first and most vital step toward making the right decision for your body. I hope this detailed deep dive has given you the clarity and the education you need to navigate this product. Let me know your thoughts on the science in the comments below. Remember, if you are ready to start your own 90-day trial and commit to the process, use the verified link in the description to ensure you are getting the authentic Axavive formula safely. Thank you for joining me for this thorough analysis, and here's to making smart, informed choices for your health.